Hello everyone, it is Jack here with my weekly Magic video. Today we are going to be playing the Naya Monsters deck that RIX took to a top 16 finish in Grand Prix Memphis. This is a really cool deck, kind of incorporating some of the best cards in the standard format right now. For those of you who did not see Ari playing on camera, I saw and I was immediately drawn to the deck and wanted to give it a try. So let's kind of start with the top end of the deck. So the top end of the deck is a card that hasn't seen a lot of play as of yet, but is a very powerful planeswalker. It is Ajani Unyielding. Ajani lets us reveal the top 3 cards of our library and put all non-land permanent cards revealed this way into our hand, and then the rest on the bottom of the library in any order. So our deck plays 19 creatures, 4 enchantments, and 5 planewalkers main deck. So that is 25 hits for Ajani. So a lot of times you're most of the time you're putting at least 1 card in your hand, unless you hit a pocket of lands. But many times you're putting 2 cards in your hand, 3 cards in your hand, and Ajani's minus ability allows him to protect himself. It gets around indestructible cards like Hazaret, like Adonto Vanguard. It's a good answer for Scarab God. And then if you ever get to alt Ajani, you're probably just winning the game. Something that came up in the games that we played, I had a huge misplay, which will surprise no one, but I had an Ajani at 10 loyalty and a Chandra at, I think it was 6 loyalty, and stupidly I plussed the Chandra instead of alting the Ajani first. If I would have alted the Ajani first, Chandra would have gone up to 11 counters. I could have ultimated Chandra, and then I could have cast 4 spells from my hand to do 20 damage. But anyway, yeah, Ajani is the top of our curve. The rest of the 5 drops is just 1 5-drop. It's Glorybringer. If you're playing red, you're probably playing Glorybringer. 3 Rekindling Phoenix, just a very good card, probably the best card out of Ravels of Ixalan. Hard to deal with if you don't have some sort of exiling effect. Then we have 3 Chandras, which, nothing really else needs said about this card. It's kind of proven its place in standard. 2 cast outs. These are in the main deck, I'm guessing, over Ixalan's Binding, because it allows you to cycle if you don't have any targets. It's just, versatile. In our 3-drop spot, we have 4 Jadelight Rangers, another Rivals of Ixalan All-Star. Helps us find lands in our deck, smooth out our draws. Also, just a good threat on its own, can get up to being a 4/3, sorry. 2 Thopter Arrests just as removal. These will hit any creature or artifact at 3 mana. Can't really beat it. It's kind of one of the main reasons we're playing white is for the removal. To kind of help us ramp into our top end, we have 4 Servant of the Conduits, and then we have 4 Merfolk Branchwalkers to help us once again filter through our draws. 3 Abrade, which acts as both a removal spell and will destroy Heart of Kirin, Thematic Compass, whatever you need to hit. And then finally we have 4 Magma Sprays, which once again, solid removal spell. Very important to exile cards in the current format with cards like Scarab God and Godpharaoh's Gift running around. And then we have 25 lands. I won't go into the specifics there because I didn't build the deck, but I can tell you after playing that mana is very rarely an issue with this deck. In the sideboard, we have 2 Ixalan's Binding. Very solid removal. Not only does it remove a card, but if you remove the correct card, it can, strand cards in your opponent's hand, can prevent you from having to deal with a threat that your deck isn't really prepared to deal with. Just a solid removal spell coming out of the board. Like I said, probably not in the main deck because Cast Out has the flexibility to be cycled. We also have 2 Lifecraft's Bestiary, good against control decks, just to kind of keep up with them in card draw and threats. The Scry is helpful in this deck, especially later in the game when you don't want to be drawing lands. We have 2 Naturalize. It's going to come if you're playing green, especially with, decks like the Hidden Stockpile deck running around, with other Ixalan's Bindings running around, that sort of thing. Versatile card to have. Carnage Tyrant, obviously coming in against control. It's just a beater. Nothing else needs said there. Now, to help us against our aggro package, Ari put in 3 Sweltering Suns. These will help you against several decks, whether it be mono red, tokens. I had a game against blue-white enchantment, that blue-white enchantment deck, and the person had 2 Adonto Vanguards out. I ended up making him do 16 damage to himself because he paid 4 life twice, and then I played a Sweltering Suns and he paid 4 life twice again, and then I cast a Glory Bringer on the next turn and killed him. But yeah, I mean, Sweltering Suns comes in against aggressive decks. It's a little bit awkward because many of your creatures have less than 3 toughness, but it's kind of a safety net against aggro decks, which is important in the format. Next, we have a very spicy card, Direfleet Daredevil. This could come in against really any black deck. You can kind of use their removal against them. It can come in against control. I cast this against a blue-white control deck in the videos coming up, and I think I cast it and I ended up casting Glimmer of Genius, which was pretty sweet. I also did this and cast a Fumigate against a board full of 2 Regal Carousels and 4 tokens, which was pretty sweet as well. And then finally we have Chandra's Defeat, which is good obviously against Chandra. It's also good against like Glorybringer. So yeah, I mean, that's the deck. It's really sweet. I didn't build it. I didn't make any changes to it. This is the list that Ari played, like I said, to a top 16 finish. So let's go ahead and take it through a friendly league and see how it plays out.